It's about 10:43, and we are joined by Joan Steltman. She's the founder and CEO of Bounce Children's Foundation. So as Anthony mentioned, 1 in 5 U.S. children living with an incurable disease, believe it or not. And here in Chicagoland, more than 300,000 kids alone. So since 2015, Bounce Children's Foundation has supported hundreds of families with chronically ill children, helping them shift from surviving to thriving. And on their 10-year anniversary, Bounce is announcing 3 strategic initiatives for the next 10 years that will dramatically change the scope of their impact. So good morning to you. Thanks for coming.
Joan.
Good morning to both of you. It's wonderful to be here.
Good. So let's start off with Bounce Children's Foundation. What is your organization?
We are committed to helping those 1 in 5 kids that we talked about that grow up battling a chronic illness. They have a disease or a disability that the medical community can't cure. And it impacts them and their entire family. And our whole focus is to get them to shift from surviving to thriving. Because they deserve to be kids. They deserve to have more in their life than just being sick.
What kinds of conditions are we talking about here?
That's a great question, Anthony. It really runs the gamut. About half our kids have a medical challenge rooted in neurology, whether that's cerebral palsy or spina bifida or epilepsy or traumatic brain injury. But we also have children battling cancer, organ transplants, rare genetic diseases, gastrointestinal, type 1 diabetes, gunshots, amputations. It's anything. And kids that are medically complex that the medical community, quite frankly, doesn't have a specific diagnosis for, but they're really sick. All of our kids are very sick. They tend to be medically complex and medically fragile.
So we're seeing some video here of different locations that you guys have been to, ice skating. We saw another one that looked like it was almost in a, I don't know if it was in the hospital or not. Can you talk about where do you guys go? Do you meet them where they're at? Do you go to their houses? Do you take the kids out of the hospital? Like, what are you guys doing day to day?
Great question. So when these children are in the hospital, they get a tremendous amount of support from the pediatric hospital community. In addition to the clinical medical support, they get a lot of support to help them deal with the trauma of being sick. And there are a lot of volunteers, celebrities with jerseys and comfort dogs and corporate volunteers with teddy bears. But when these children go home and our kids remain sick, all of that support disappears. They still have medical care, but no one is seeing them and supporting them, and they become extremely isolated. And by extension, their families are isolated. So our goal is to build a community, a place for them to belong. We get them out of the house. So twice a month, we host an event, custom designed to support these kids and welcome and include them, as well as the rest of their family, their healthy brothers and sisters, their parents. So they can go do something and participate in a bit of normalcy and what other kids are doing. We send care packages at the holidays to these families. Holidays are really hard. If everyone is going to go to grandma's for Thanksgiving and your child rides a wheelchair and grandma's house is not ADA accessible, you're not going. If it's 4th of July in our country, 300 million people are going to fireworks, barbecues, parades, and you're sitting home knowing that's happening and you can't be part of it because your child is immunocompromised and can't be in a crowd, or they can't regulate their body temperature and therefore can't be out in the heat. Extremely difficult on the family. So we send care packages.
It's comforting to know that you all exist. How did this all get started? Was there a certain patient or a certain case that was personally connected to you as the founding member, or how did that work?
That's a question we talk about a lot. I am blessed. My daughter is very healthy, but I volunteered in a pediatric hospital during college. And I started to understand what it's like for the sickest of our kids. And I've always advocated for kids as a volunteer, even as I was building my career, and decided I needed to switch and make that my career. And as I had volunteered and worked in this space, I learned from the families, this is what they need. This is the gap in the system. No one else was helping them once they got out of the hospital with the ongoing trauma and isolation and invisibility, with the everyday hardships that come to control their lives, and how that shows up for everyone in the family. And so it was that insight with an amazing group of volunteers that were willing to step up and partner with me to create this new organization. And now it's been 10 years.
That's amazing. And I want to hear about your new initiatives, but I just got to say too, like I could imagine for these family members, the connection that they have with other families who are going through the same thing. Have you found that they kind of come together and become friends and lean on each other and ask for advice?
100%, Caitlin, and that to me is one of the things that makes us special. When a family joins, they stay with us up to 21 years. So there's time to see families over and over at events, and they do make friends. Kids make friends, siblings make friends, parents make friends. One of our programs also is an online community that's private just to these parents, so they connect and help each other. And it might be, and these are all true stories, we were just told my 12-year-old needs to have her spine rebuilt. Who can I trust? That's not a Yelp question.
No.
Right.
Love Yelp for what it does, right? But in the course of a weekend, you can get 3 qualified recommendations from families that have already been through it, who also say, call me, I'll tell you our story.
Yeah, I love that.
I will help you.
When we talk about chatbots and everything, this is the difference between when you have a human and when you have Yelp or a chatbot.
And someone who's lived your experience. You know, as humans, we need to connect. And we seek advice and comfort and support and knowledge from people that have a common experience. We learned this during the pandemic. The pandemic was hard for us to all be shut in, and we craved that human connection. Our families live with isolation similar to the pandemic on a permanent basis. And now they're doing it alone. It's not the whole planet. So that ability to bring them together, to support each other, is a vital part of what we do. And it's the only way they tell us they can find each other.
And I'm guessing that's going to be a central piece of this next 10 years. We got 10 years in the books, 10 years on the horizon. As Caitlin just alluded to, take us through some of these initiatives. They're going to be kind of guiding your work over the coming decade.
We had a fabulous celebration last week of our 10 years of success. And as I told our closest donors and volunteers and friends and partners, we've only just begun, because there are so many kids. And so we're highly focused on expanding our capacity here in Chicago. That means more space to be able to support more families. It means expanding beyond Chicago, because there's sick kids all over the country. This will always be home, but we want to help kids in other geographies. It's enhancing our infrastructure, whether that's technology to reach families and the staff, the human capital it needs to provide this very personal, very impactful connection and support. It's also empowering our growth, making sure we have the financial strength to always be there for these families, because we make them a promise that we will show up for them on an ongoing basis, and we don't want to disappoint.
So throwing some numbers at this, I'm looking through your program here. It looks like you had 17,850 attendees for this Bounce Bash.
Yes.
How many kids are you impacting?
Wow.
Those numbers still blow me away.
I mean, that's,
We right now have 501 active families in the program, and that's about 2,400 people. Right? Because again, it's mom and dad, and it's brothers and sisters, and the kids. Yes. And so over 10 years, 17,850 people have come to these events to be with us.
That's incredible.
And we've shipped almost 20,000 care packages. Excuse me, 10,000 care packages.
And those are for the holiday
And I bet that takes a lot of work. And on that note, before you go, tell everybody how they can get involved. I bet a lot of people will hear this and say, that's something I could do. I could help put together those care packages. I would love to get involved with this.
We would love everyone's help, because we can't do this alone. We have a very small team. So individuals can come volunteer at our Bounce Bash events. For example, we're about to throw an enormous Halloween party inside where it's safe for all kids. We build a neighborhood to trick-or-treat indoors, and we do carnival games. So there's events like that where people can volunteer throughout the year. We always need groups to help pack the care packages. So if you've got a group of employees or neighbors or friends or a book group or an alumni group or a community service organization, we'd love to team up with you to pack those care packages. And then, of course, we need help in the back office. So anybody who's more of a behind-the-scenes person can make a huge difference as well.
One thing that also occurs to me is if someone's watching this and wondering, hey, you know what, my child is dealing with an incurable illness, how can they find out if they could qualify to become part of Bounce?
Thank you for asking that really important question, because that's key. We want to reach those families. They can find us online and on social media at bouncechildrensfoundation.org. We partner with 28 pediatric hospitals and healthcare organizations here in Chicago. So from La Rabida to Lurie to Advocate to Rush to Make-A-Wish, Ronald McDonald House, Easter Seals, all of those groups are sending families to us, or they can call us at 844-6-BOUNCE. We would love to welcome them in. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that we are privately funded. And so anyone who's compelled to make a financial gift to help us is really making this transformation possible. And when you're helping a child, no gift is too small. Every dollar counts.
All right, Bounce Children's Foundation.
Love
Joan,
it.
thank you so much.
Joan Steltman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you are doing.
It
What
is
a blessing to have.
truly an honor to help these kids and their families. And I thank you both for
Absolutely.
giving us
Congrats
a
on
chance
10
to spread the
years.
word. Thank you. I know.
Awesome.
So much more to come.
Yes, indeed.
It'll be wonderful.
All right, Joan, thank you so much.